Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestle News 365. Hope everyone is doing very, very well, having a good Tuesday. As always, there is a ton of news stories to get into today, especially coming out of last night's edition of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. So let's get straight into today's stories, and let's kick off with the surprising return of Shane McMahon last night on Monday Night Raw. Now, every time Shane McMahon, I feel like, shows up, you kind of go, what's going on? Because he doesn't come back for no reason, obviously. Last time he was on WWE television for a period of time, it was to do with Raw Underground, of course. And he made a surprising return last night on Monday Night Raw to announce the Elimination Chamber main event, or at least help WWE official Adam Pearce announce the Elimination Chamber main event, which is going to be for the WWE Championship, because WWE Champion Drew McIntyre is set to defend his WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber at the upcoming WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Now, McIntyre's opponents will be all former WWE champions. That's the gimmick on top of the gimmick of the Elimination Chamber event and match. So Shane McMahon returned last night on Raw for a brief opening segment where he and WWE official Adam Pearce announced the Chamber match. McIntyre's opponents will be Randy Orton, Sheamus, AJ Styles, The Miz, and Jeff Hardy. Now, this is interesting. Obviously, when it comes to the defending the championship in the Elimination Chamber match and event, not massively surprising. I guess some people thought that we were probably going to get Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre in a singles match for the WWE Championship. We didn't get that. Why we didn't, I don't really know, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I would probably think it's because they've got two pay-per-views between now and WrestleMania. They've got the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which is next Sunday, which is madness how quickly that's come around. So they have to shoehorn everything into Raw and Smackdown over the next couple of weeks to make that event work. So you've got Elimination Chamber, and then you've got Fastlane before WrestleMania as well. So I would think we're probably going to see a scenario where Drew McIntyre retains at Elimination Chamber and then faces Sheamus for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. I think that probably makes the most sense, right? Maybe. So maybe we're going to get that. But the Shane McMahon return, to me, felt very odd. Very odd. And I have a feeling, considering it is the road to WrestleMania, we are on the road to WrestleMania right now, considering we are where we are in this period of year, and as I mentioned, Shane McMahon doesn't return for no reason. Shane McMahon returns when there's something big going on, whether it is Raw Underground, whether it is him being involved in some sort of angle in a match, I don't know. The way that at the end of the segment, he also said, great job, Adam, referring to Adam Pearce, WWE official, said, great job, Adam Pearce, you're doing a fantastic job, great main event, really well done, you're doing a fantastic job. It led me certainly to say, okay, this wasn't a random cameo, this wasn't, Shane McMahon's return, so you got to tune into Monday Night Raw. It felt to me like something is going on here. Some angle is being planned. That was the beginning of whatever angle they're going with Shane McMahon. It is WrestleMania season, of course, and you've got to get Shane McMahon on that WrestleMania card. That's what it felt like to me. Now, what does this mean? As far as I'm concerned, and there's probably more will come out about this, I would think, in the next couple of days as people talk about it, but my initial response and impression of it was Shane McMahon's going to maybe have a match at WrestleMania. He might be becoming some sort of authority figure, on-screen authority figure or something like that. He's going to be involved. His return wasn't random, put it that way. His return certainly wasn't random. What it's going to mean going forward, I don't know. I don't know. I would probably think it means a match at WrestleMania or an on-screen authority role. My concern was after they had the Shane McMahon return, they did a brief backstage segment between Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, where Drew McIntyre confronted him as Shane McMahon was leaving the arena and basically said, look, I thought I was going to be facing Sheamus in a singles match. Why Elimination Chamber match? We have our history because, of course, Drew McIntyre was Shane McMahon's hired gun, or hired goon, as it were, during his feud with Roman Reigns and The Undertaker a couple of years ago, right? You had the Extreme Rules match, which had Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon teaming up to take on Undertaker and Roman Reigns, one of Undertaker's great last matches, as it were. So I have a very big worry, and I'm scared to even say it because if you put it out there, it might actually turn into reality. But the confrontation, well, it wasn't a real confrontation, but the segment that Drew McIntyre and Sheamus had backstage, the kind of heelish feel that Shane McMahon had to him when he was saying to Adam Pearce, good job, you've done a good job. It worries me because I'm looking at the lay of the land right now and I'm saying, okay, who is realistically going to challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? Edge is going to face Roman Reigns on Smackdown for the Universal Championship. And then you look at the guys that are on Raw right now. Who's it going to be? It's not going to be Keith Lee. They've done that. It's not going to be Riddle. He's not high enough on the card. Bobby Lashley. I don't think they'll go in that direction. Who's that? Who else is there? AJ Styles. They already did that. They did that at TLC. Is it going to be The Miz? They've kind of already done that as well. He's kind of running out of opponents right now. And are they WrestleMania level opponents? I don't know. My big concern, and again, I'm scared to even say it, but my big concern is that not only Shane McMahon will return as an on-screen authority figure, but he might even challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I really hope that's not the case. I really hope it's not the case. And because if it does, the reaction to that will be incredible in terms of social media just losing their minds. Not only Shane McMahon being back in a heel authority figure role, which I know some people said, oh, that's not a bad thing. I'm still recovering from the last time that happened on Smackdown. It was just way too much. Shane McMahon was in every segment. It was horrific. So I'm not ready for that again. And him being in a featured spot for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, Shane McMahon, over a person that is there every single week, there is a massive difference between Shane McMahon and Edge. So that argument of, oh, well, Edge is competing for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, no. It's completely different circumstance. It worries me. It really, really worries me. I hope that's not the direction they go in, but anything's possible. Anything's possible. Now, sticking to Monday Night Raw last night, this was ridiculous, wasn't it? Nia Jax. Nia Jax was trending during Raw last night because she had a tables match against Lana on the show. Right, because that's the feud that Nia Jax has put Lana through the table a million times. That's the deal, right? But this week's episode of Monday Night Raw saw Lana defeat WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Nia Jax in a tables match. But Nia Jax was trending on Twitter because of a different reason. Now, because of a phrase that she yelled out in the match after missing a leg drop on the edge of the apron due to Lana rolling out the way. Now, Jax landed hard on the apron and massively, oversold this so much. She really went for it. She really went for the sow on this one. So much so, she was, you would have thought that, she'd broken every bone in her body, but she was selling this so over the top, so comedically. It was like Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam in 2005. It was ridiculous, frankly. It was incredible. But she then rolls off the apron and then starts yelling out "my hole." Yes, I'm not making that up. She starts yelling out "my hole." Now, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. It was crazy, to say the least. It was so weird, and why she did it, I don't know. And it was. I don't even know if it's PG to yell out "my hole." I don't know. It was very strange, but I don't even know what to say about it. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Now, moving on to Bad Bunny, because once again we saw Bad Bunny this week on Monday Night Raw as his WWE career and storyline continues. Rapper Bad Bunny returned to WWE Raw on last night's show and accompanied Damian Priest to the ring for his singles match against Angel Garza. Garza had The Miz and John Morrison in the corner for his match. Early on in the match, Garza ripped off his pants and threw them at the rapper. But the finish of the match saw Miz and Morrison double-team Priest while Bunny took the Money in the Bank briefcase. They ended up getting sent to the back by the referee. This led to Bad Bunny distracting Angel Garza, which led to Priest hitting the bell clap and the Reckoning to get the victory via pinfall in the match. Now, last night's show also saw Bad Bunny get his own entrance once again before Priest came out, but this entrance even included pyro, so they're certainly going full force with this Bad Bunny character here as a regular figure on Monday Night Raw. This was Bad Bunny's third WWE TV appearance since last weekend. He appeared at the Royal Rumble for his Booker T performance with the WWE Hall of Famer with the same name, and the Royal Rumble match angle with Priest, Miz, and Morrison. He then returned for the post-Rumble edition of Raw, where he appeared on Miz TV and dropped Morrison at ringside as Priest defeated The Miz in singles action. But there is way more news when it comes to Bad Bunny, because obviously Bad Bunny's been, I think a lot of people have been talking about, a lot of wrestling fans deciding if they do or don't know the guy. Nevertheless, Bad Bunny, it's been reported he is currently training at the WWE Performance Center, and it's led many to believe he's going to be having a match at WrestleMania 37, possibly teaming with Damian Priest to take on John Morrison and The Miz. Now, on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed that the current plans are for Bad Bunny and Priest to team up against The Miz and John Morrison at WrestleMania. The goal, by all accounts, is for WWE to help bolster their Latino market. Bad Bunny's merchandise is not only a big money maker for the rapper himself, but also for the WWE. The first release merchandise featuring Bad Bunny is currently sold out, with more merchandise being made as we speak right now. Now, WWE hasn't announced any future appearances for Bad Bunny on Raw, but it has led to other celebrities saying that they would like to pursue a WWE career as well. We'll touch on who those are specifically in a second, because those stories are certainly very interesting as well. But look, as I mentioned before, I never, ever, ever had a problem with Bad Bunny appearing on WWE television. It's always the same. When any superstar interacts with a celebrity or anything like that, I always think it's a good thing because it's smart business. It's always been smart business. So, and the evidence is there. Bad Bunny was the most streamed rapper or artist in 2020. In addition to that, this is a guy that they've put merchandise on WWEshop.com and it's sold out like that. Vince McMahon may be out of touch for a variety of things. I doubt Vince McMahon really knows who Bad Bunny is. But what he is good at is seeing patterns and seeing numbers in front of him. If you put the numbers of Bad Bunny in front of him and say, look, this is the most streamed star on Spotify in 2020, and then put the merchandise figures in front of him of, look, we put some merch of his on our website and they sold out immediately, he'll say book him. Book him and book him and book him and book him over and over and over and over again. It's smart business. It's smart business, and I don't have a problem with it at all, as I never did with any celebrity, sports star, whoever coming in, because it's smart business. It's always smart business. Now, speaking of Raw last night as well, we have some championship matches announced on last night's show for Elimination Chamber. As I mentioned, WWE doesn't have a lot of time to do all these matches for Elimination Chamber, so they had to announce a lot last night. One such match is for the Raw Women's Championship. Lacey Evans versus Raw Women's Champion Asuka is now official for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Evans earned this title shot by defeating Charlotte Flair in singles action last night on Raw. Evans won the match by disqualification after Flair snapped on her in the corner and put her hands on the referee. So there you go. It's a Raw Women's Championship match set for Elimination Chamber. It factors into the Lacey Evans, Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair storyline. Personally, I mean, I don't see where they're really going with this one. Ric Flair did a promo with Lacey Evans last night on Raw and said, you know, it's strictly casual and all this kind of stuff. I still think we're heading to a wedding angle between Evans and Ric Flair. I still think that's where we're going. I wouldn't be 100% sure on that, but I feel like that's where we're probably going with that. If not, then again, I don't see the end goal here. I still think we could possibly see Asuka versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. That feels to me like the direction they're probably going to go in. Former tag team partners facing off, that kind of deal. Obviously, there's a possibility for other returns, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, etc. But I would think at the moment, looking at the lay of the land on Monday Night Raw, we're probably going to head to Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. So I would expect Asuka to win the Raw Women's Championship at Elimination Chamber. Although, I mean, I guess we can't rule out Lacey Evans winning the Raw Women's Championship at Elimination Chamber and then facing Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania in a Ric Flair storyline, because Charlotte Flair's got to have that title match at WrestleMania, right? Every single year we go through this. So that's one title match announced. Another title match announced is for the United States Championship, because a big triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship has been announced for the upcoming Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. The match will see Bobby Lashley defend his United States title against Riddle and Keith Lee. The triple threat match was made after Lee defeated Riddle in singles action on last night's Raw, after he and Riddle had friendly words earlier on in the night about who it would take to take the title from Lashley. After the match, though, Lashley attacked both competitors after the match and destroyed them in the ring and at ringside. This was really odd. The Riddle and Keith Lee match was great. I'm really excited for this match at Elimination Chamber. It will be great. Triple threat match. All three guys are fantastic. No problem with the match. I just really don't get the logic. Really don't get the logic there. I mean, Riddle, no offense to the guy, but why is he in this match? Why? Why is he in this match? It makes no sense whatsoever to have Riddle in this match. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Because look at it. Riddle, he lost last night to Keith Lee. The whole point of that match was to see if, well, I guess the better man here will be able to take the title away from Bobby Lashley at Elimination Chamber. Riddle lost. He lost this week. He's lost several times to Bobby Lashley. Yes, he did the gauntlet match against the Hurt Business. I get that, but frankly, what has Riddle done to deserve to be in the match? There is no logic in that one whatsoever. So I found that very, very odd. I mean, again, I don't have a problem with the match. The match will be great. I'm excited to see the match. It'll be a great match. But where is the logic? Where is the logic for Riddle to be in that match? He loses time and time again, and yet you deserve a title shot. Not only did you lose, but you got the hell beat out of you after the match. What? The logic is about as stupid as Riddle's character on WWE television right now, which is, again, is very, very dumb. Very dumb. So I really didn't understand that one. Let's move on and talk a bit about WrestleMania 37, because obviously, we mentioned this yesterday, the Super Bowl at Raymond James Stadium this past weekend was a massive success. One of the things that was really fantastic about the Super Bowl was the way that Raymond James Stadium looked. It looked, despite having only 25,000 fans during a pandemic, insanity. But despite having only 25,000 fans, it looked very, very full, and the stadium looked great. That was because the Super Bowl, the NFL, they used fan cutouts, and now WWE is reportedly open to using the same idea that was used on Sunday at Raymond James Stadium for NFL's Super Bowl. It was reported on Sunday that WWE officials had been against the idea of filling empty WrestleMania 37 seats with fan cutouts that the NFL was using. However, now WWE officials are reportedly open to using the cutouts for the grandest stage of them all. It was reported yesterday by WrestleVotes on Twitter that WWE officials will 100% discuss the use of the cutouts for WrestleMania 37. A source reportedly said that it's beyond dumb to not discuss the use of cutouts because Raymond James Stadium, quote, looked wonderful for what it was during the big game on Sunday. The NFL reportedly sold the cutouts used at Super Bowl for $100 each. So I don't know how much a ticket would be to WrestleMania in general usually. I mean, I guess obviously the closer you get, the more expensive it would be. But in the cheap seats, WWE could make a sizable profit by having cutouts for $100. I mean, it's crazy to think, by the way, that you could be paying more to not go to the show than you would to go to the show. Is kind of crazy, but I mean, that's the world that we're living in right now, I suppose. It's been reported that WWE will have, of course, some real fans at Raymond James Stadium for WrestleMania 37. Obviously, they won't be at 100% capacity, even though WWE would wish they could. WWE is expected to announce full details on WrestleMania tickets shortly. Again, we still don't have any confirmation about the actual number as to what we're looking at for WrestleMania this year. Obviously, there's been reports of 25,000, 30,000, maybe even more. I don't know. I still think it's a bit crazy anyway, to be honest, but that's where we are with that. I mentioned about Bad Bunny appearing in WWE recently. Well, another rapper, Bow Wow, has flirted with joining WWE. Because yesterday, he tweeted out that he was interested in joining WWE. He said, quote, "Now I know this may sound crazy, but after I drop my last album, I will focus on TV and film and joining the WWE. It's been a lifelong childhood dream to wrestle in WWE." Now, as I mentioned, he voiced this desire about joining WWE, but he got some backlash from certain WWE superstars, one being the social media monster himself, T-Bar, because T-Bar said, "It doesn't sound crazy, it's crazy. It doesn't sound crazy, it is crazy. Don't make us destroy you. Also, Like Mike sucked." But Bow Wow responded to that saying, "Are you mad because I'll become champ faster than you? Or are you mad that Like Mike is more legendary than you'll ever be?" drops Mike. T-Bar then responding, going, "They sound like fighting words, Air Bud. Why don't you fly your private jet down to WWE Thunderdome and back them up?" Bow Wow responded, "Sounds like Bane stand-in wants the smoke. Was that a challenge, sir?" And he then followed up with, in response to Mace, "And you two are going to need more than eye contacts and fake Party City masks to scare the dog. Do I smell a tag match? Sign the contract." And then Ricochet responded to him going, "Bow Wow don't want the smoke." And then Bow Wow responded saying, "Say it live on Raw if you mean it, pen is in hand." So maybe Bow Wow is going to be the latest rapper to join WWE. I don't know. Again, it would be hypocritical. It would be hypocritical if I said, it's a bad thing and all that kind of stuff because, as I mentioned, I don't have any problem with celebrities being on Monday Night Raw. It's smart business and it makes sense. I don't know if Bow Wow is truly at the level of Bad Bunny when it comes to streaming and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. That's not my arena. So I couldn't comment on that. I don't know if I'm massively on board with the trend of all of these celebrities, though, and rappers suddenly deciding they want to become pro wrestlers. It's kind of the same with the YouTube boxing thing. Suddenly a YouTuber becomes a boxer. Stick to what you're good at, right? I mean, I don't know. Let's move on. Let's talk about Dark Side of the Ring on Vice, one of my favourite programs on television, irrespective of pro wrestling, because Chris Jericho participated in a narrating session for Season 3 of Vice TV's Dark Side of the Ring series earlier yesterday. As seen on Twitter, Jericho did voiceover work for an episode on Deathmatch Wrestling, which could be the planned episodes on FMW or Nick Gage. Jericho is set to narrate the upcoming season of the popular Vice TV series. Now, as of the time of recording right now, there's still no word on when Season 3 will premiere, but of course, once we get information on that, we'll keep you updated. We do have some confirmed topics, though, for Season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring. We have episodes that we know are confirmed about Brian Pillman, which is going to be the season premiere. Of course, Steve Austin has been interviewed for that program. We've got FMW, which is Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. We've got XPW, Extreme Pro Wrestling. We've got Nick Gage. We've got WCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Collision in Korea event from 1995, which of course was a pro wrestling event in North Korea. We have the Smith family, which is Grizzly Smith and his children, Sam Houston, Rockin' Robin, and WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts. We have a show on Bruiser Bedlam, Johnny K9, which is Ion Kroturu, and we also have an episode on Chris Canyon. I mentioned this is one of my favorite shows on television, irrespective of pro wrestling or not. It is awesome. It essentially is nearly a feature-length documentary every single week. It's such a fantastic show, and I can't wait for it to return. So very excited for that to return. We mentioned this yesterday, so we'll follow it up today. The final viewership for Smackdown, last week's show, has been revealed. Friday's live post-Royal Rumble edition of Smackdown on Fox, featuring a fallout from the pay-per-view with the return also of WWE Hall of Famer Edge, drew an average of 2.257 million live viewers on Fox. This is according to Showbuzz Daily. The final number, of course, is up from the overnight viewership. As I mentioned yesterday, these overnight viewerships can fluctuate quite a bit, so the final number is up from the overnight viewership that was released on Saturday morning, which was an average of 2.126 million live viewers. However, the overall number is down still from last week's final SmackDown viewership of 2.304 million live viewers for the Royal Rumble Go Home episode. So as I mentioned, I think that regardless of it rising slightly, they'll still be disappointed with that number. It's still not a fantastic number, especially considering it's the Royal Rumble Fallout episode, returns of Edge. Obviously, there are reasons I suppose you could look into it. Maybe people were already focused on the Super Bowl. I don't know if I really subscribe to that theory. I think maybe it was just a case of not really a lot happened on that show. I know it was promised that we might have decisions from Bianca Belair and Edge, but I think maybe people didn't believe that was the case. People, for whatever reason, people didn't tune in. Now, WWE, they'll still be happy with that number, 2.3. Was it 2.257 million? They'll still be happy with that, considering its pandemic numbers and its network television. But yeah, I think they probably would have wanted a little bit more from that in general. And finally, we spoke about Bad Bunny a couple of times today, but Booker T has addressed the rumours of possibly making an in-ring comeback at WrestleMania 37. Two-time WWE Hall of Famer Booker T has shot down recent rumours about him making an in-ring return for WWE. The former six-time world champion sparked rumours when he brought back his G.I. Bro character during Bad Bunny's performance at last Sunday's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Triple H gave another shout-out to Booker T, praising his WrestleMania 19 opponent for, quote, looking ready for another in-ring run. On his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T's co-host Brad Gilmore brought up the rumour that Booker T would team up with Bad Bunny for a tag team match at WrestleMania 37. Booker T said WWE had contacted him regarding an in-ring return. He said, quote, what I can say is that 100%, I think it came from Meltzer, I think it's 100% rumour. No one has talked to me about it as far as having a match at WrestleMania. No one has talked to me about tag teaming with Bad Bunny to go against anyone. Following up from recent comments about a potential WrestleMania rematch against Triple H in Saudi Arabia, Booker T admitted he would be open to an in-ring return provided it was done right. He said, quote, and I talked about it very, very clearly, vividly here on this show, that I am willing to have a match, but it has to be right. Circumstances has to be right. I don't want to be jumping in the ring just to be jumping in the ring. I said that Saudi Arabia would be a great time for me to come back and do something. People out there in Saudi still watching old people, still think I'm current. Booker T added that as of now, his only WrestleMania duty is behind the desk. He said, quote, as far as this thing, it's a rumor, guys. I'm not going to be at WrestleMania in any capacity other than being behind the desk as of right now. Always, though, cards subject to change in professional wrestling. And the thing is, if there's an outside chance of me walking the aisle at WrestleMania, I would take it. So, who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't be against it. I mean, he looks in phenomenal shape still. He looks in absolutely fantastic shape. I think the angle that they're going with the Bad Bunny stuff right now is, as we mentioned earlier on, is to improve their footprint in the Hispanic Latino market, and that's why they've got Bad Bunny teaming with Damian Priest. Where does Booker T fit into that? He fits into that by being obviously part of the Bad Bunny song, Booker T. So there's a possibility. I mean, Angel Garza was with The Miz and John Morrison on Monday Night Raw. So there is a possibility we could see Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, and Booker T go against Angel Garza, The Miz and John Morrison at WrestleMania. That's certainly a possibility. So I wouldn't rule it out. As of right now, he's not going to come out and say it anyway, is he? So let's be honest. That would be a bit silly. But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on the news stories we've spoken about today? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community. Drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do smash a like on the like button. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get to people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.